Much was said about the fact Carlos Alcaraz won the biggest ever purse of the U.S. Open in 2025, but all was not as it seemed. A tennis star has claimed Carlos Alcaraz didn't even get half of his U.S. Open winnings last year. Alcaraz overcame rival Jannik Sinner for the fourth time in 5 meetings to lift the U.S. Open trophy for the second time in his career last September. In doing so, the 22-year-old secured the biggest purse handed out in the history of tennis in the form of a £3.7 million, $5 million, payday. The same sum was awarded to Aryna Sabalenka for her victory in the women's singles at Flushing Meadows. Yet, despite that eye-watering figure being widely reported, world number 20 women's tennis player Karolina Muchova says the Spaniard wouldn't have even received half of that prize money in real terms. She told Forbes, "In New York, where Carlos Alcaraz won that amount this year, he won't even get half of it. You pay taxes in America and at home, so no one will actually see the amount we're talking about." Muchova was also asked whether she agreed that players should receive a larger share of the profits at Grand Slam tournaments, given the BBC's report that they only got between 12.5% and 20% of total tournament revenue last year. She added, "I agree. Tournaments are getting longer, with almost all Grand Slam tournaments now starting on Sunday, which means an extra day of revenue for them. Compared to other sports, our share is very small. People read that the winner of the U.S. Open won $5 million, but that's just one person out of 200, if you include the qualifiers." It was revealed at the time of Alcaraz's triumph that a hefty chunk of the world number one's winnings would go straight to U.S. authorities. That's because athletes are subject to tax laws in the local jurisdictions where they earn their keep. Alcaraz fell into the highest bracket of federal income tax in the United States. Due to his earnings being above the upper threshold of $609,351, he was subject to a federal income tax rate of 37%. That amounted to £1.37 million in tax before he even left the country, leaving him with £2.33 million in earnings. The damage was worse than if he was expected to pay state tax in New York, which is one of the highest personal tax rates in the U.S. The state income tax for earnings between $1.08 million and $5 million in New York is 9.65%. The tiered system means this rate would only apply to earnings in that range, leaving Alcaraz with closer to £2 million as his take-home figure. All of that would be before factoring the usual expenses, such as paying his manager, coaches, accommodation, and travel. There was one silver lining for Alcaraz, however, given that a double taxation treaty between Spain and the United States prevented the tennis sensation from being penalized again in his home country.